Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining Swim Winchester's first Facebook Live event. My name is Catherine Curtis. I am president of the Swim Winchester Board of Directors, and I'm here with Bob Bigelow, a former Celtics player, an author on youth sports, and an
all-around good guy,
and a Winchester resident. I wanted to thank everybody who donated to Swim Winchester and got a chance to win these Celtics tickets. We've had a really exciting year with the select board and the school committee approving our site on Skilling's Field. Now we are raising money for designing our building. We have a civil engineering firm doing some surveying on Skilling's Field, and we are going to design what our building will look like. So we're thrilled to have had lots of donations this year, and we still have our end of year donor drive, which is being matched by our board of directors. So if you haven't donated yet, please do. I'm going to pass it over to Bob for the very exciting draw.
Thank you, Catherine. By the way, our nicest import from north of the border, Canadian Catherine is, and here we are at Jefferson Road in my home. At a kitchen table and smiling at me is my wife, Nancy, who has been on the committee since the beginning with Catherine to help build a pool. I have a little bit of history in this town because I graduated from Winchester High School, which is now McCall, back right around the time we chased the last dinosaurs out of town. And that was 1971, and we were building what I still call the new high school, which is now the newly renovated new high school, which most people in town think of as the only high school we ever had, which isn't the case. So at that time, they tried to build a pool, and it was going to cost $1 million back in 1971 money, and they didn't. So they left the new high school without the pool. And about every 10 or 15 years since, we've had a committee get together and try to build a new pool. And this is the one committee which I think started in my 2013, 2012. And that about 5 or 6 years, this is the committee that has gone the farthest. And it looks like they've got traction and they're working at it. So whatever little bit of business I can do to help push this and move the needle a bit, I'm welcome to do it. So at some point in time, Catherine, with a big twisting of arm by my wife, Nancy, I got two Celtics tickets for an upcoming game in this 18-19 season. And before I do the draw, I would like to thank one Jim Gleason, who lives in New London, New Hampshire, a longtime Central New Hampshire high school basketball coach who's been a friend for about 25 years. And in that time, I think he's had season tickets to the Celtics. He actually drives down 20 or 30 times a year from New London to go to Celtics games. He's got some great seats. I've sat in them several times, and these are the two seats I'm going to draw for in a minute or so. And Jim is a wonderful guy, and I wanted to make sure I thank him on the computer here, which is kind of strange for me. I'm talking into a laptop. But with that said, the game that we are going to draw for is April 1st. I know it's April Fool's. It's a Monday. It's probably game number 75 in a very long 82-game season that all the NBA teams play. And they will be, the Celtics are a very good team. If you follow the Celtics, you know they are good. They had a rough start to the year, but they seem to have gotten their act together in the last few weeks. And they will be very good by the end of the season when this game is played. They are playing against the Miami Heat. Now, Miami is not as good a team. They will be fighting for the playoffs, but I think maybe one of the great things about this game is Miami's greatest player of all time is a guy named Dwayne Wade. And Dwayne Wade is retiring after this year, after a sparkling and wonderful 15-year career. And unless Miami makes the playoffs and happens to play the Celtics, this will be the last time that Dwayne Wade appears at the TD Garden. So I'm sure the Celtics, being a very class organization, will do some wonderful things for Dwayne and probably give him a car and a rocking chair and all sorts of things. So that's a little added bonus to this particular game that's coming up. So as I said, it's April 1st. The season usually ends, the regular season, around April 15th. So this will be one of the last 10 games, and the Celtics will be rocking into the playoffs. The Heat will be fighting for the playoffs. They are well coached, the Heat. They always overperform their talent, and it should be a very good game. So without further ado, on my left here, I have a box of, I don't know how many slips, somewhere in the 50 range. Thank you very much for giving your money for this raffle. And my job, my very hard job here, is to reach in with my fairly long arms and long hands and pick out a name. So I'm going to do this the way they do on the game shows, shuffle around. Do you want to read this, Catherine, or
Sure.
I will give it and I'll shuffle a little more, not take too much more time. And we have one folded off to the president, and we will find out who wins the tickets to the Miami Celtics game.
The name is Lori Goring.
I know Lori
Yeah,
Goring.
right.
Congratulations, Lori, if you're watching. We've known them for ages. Yes,
Great.
congratulations, Lori and David,
Wonderful.
and they're wonderful kids. I know Emma's married now. Hello, Lori, if you're watching, and congratulations. By the way, there was nothing said between me and Lori before the, this is all above board, but congratulations to the Goring family.
Thank you very much, Bob. Thank
You're
you for drawing
welcome very
around
much.
the name, and thank you everyone for donating and for supporting Swim Winchester.
Good night.
Your big daughter was the captain of the high school.